Hey guys, welcome back. So we're gonna continue on our topic of combat complacency. On my previous video, I spoke about it, but it was done all in like I read the entire part of the book, and it just felt boring. So I'm gonna just cover a paragraph and then talk about it, and then cover the next paragraph and then talk about it. The other way was just felt kind of like boring, or at least boring to me. I'm not sure. If you like it, let me know, and I can just do it that way. So now we're gonna talk about. Now we're gonna go on the second paragraph, and it goes like this: everyone who is hearing V2K is being monitored in this manner and being influenced in this way as well. The phrases you are hearing should be related to information captured during the silent monitoring period, and it will eventually be used as the foundation for your endless verbal harassment. So if you're hearing V2K, go to sleep, stop using substances, and start using your imagination to think about really beautiful things, because V2K is just our voices that are produced in your own mind. Now, then it says here something about silent monitoring period. So this silent silent monitoring period, this person pretty much means is trying to tell you that there is a time where you are harassed, but they are not harassing you directly, where they're not engaging with you, you're just being monitored. And there is a time like that in gangstalking. However, this doesn't, the only thing that is monitoring you, other than gangstalkers, is yourself. So the voices are going to talk to you about things that only you know. And the reason that people think that gangstalkers have access to your mind is because the voices that you hear are going to talk to you about things that happened a long time ago, things that there is no other possible way that the voices in your head can know. The reason that the voices know all these things about you is because the voices are literally you. You just don't realize that. So there is no gangstalking side. There is no period where the voices in your head are monitoring you silently. But there is a phase where gangstalkers are harassing you in ways that are really underhanded. Like when I was using drugs, I was in my car in a parking lot, like a block away from work, and there was like a white van next to me. And then this person next thing I know, the same white van was by work, telling my coworkers, "Oh yeah, we saw this guy with this car, smoking something in his car in this parking lot." So they're going to try to sabotage by just spreading rumors, or even lies or not. They're gonna do things with the intent of harming your reputation, such as telling your boss, that you are using drugs or whatever, even when they don't know, even when they're clueless. They are gonna go and just try to ruin you in ways that are not overt. Next, blah, blah, blah. Okay, what they do is a game of deception and manipulation, nothing more. Okay, yeah, that's true. Do not accept anything they say as truth, and do not acknowledge anything the system interrogates you about as truth. To be honest, I was never interrogated by V2K. I was only interrogated by gangstalkers, but I was interrogated as like a little setup. But one thing that I can tell you about setups is that as long as you stay away from gangstalkers, like for the most part, setups are not gonna work. Because let's say that I said something inappropriate and immoral during the last time that I had a relapse. Let's say that, even though I didn't. And after that, I just stopped hanging out with any gang stalkers. So even though there was a setup, and even though I per se said something immoral, it ends right there. There's nothing more because I'm not hanging out with any gang stalkers anymore. So they have a gun, it's loaded, theoretically speaking, but they have no target. And for the game to be complete, they need a target. So guess what? The setup was meaningless because there was absolutely nothing for them to shoot the bullets to. And that's, you can deal with it that way, because that way they're not by you. They can't do anything to you. So that is, that's one of the best things to deal with. One of the best ways to deal with gang stalking is just to take away the access to you, take away their access to you. After 7 years of gang stalking? 6 years? I think now it's like 7 years. This is the time where everything that they have done hasn't had any effect. I'm not sure if it has to do with our channel, but they literally haven't bothered me nearly as much. Like yesterday, I mean, they were there with a cell phone. I'm not staying like on the street. I'm staying in like a trolley station. There is like a police station right here. So they're not gonna be doing anything, and they're not doing any type of riding or anything because there's no space for them to be using the headlights or anything. Remember, if you saw the video where I was actually on the street, I'm not sure if you saw, but there was like a car that literally just went out and then parked with their headlights pointing at me during the daytime, and they were just like on, and he was there for like 20 minutes and left. Maybe it was like 10 minutes, but they can't do that anymore because I'm not allowing them. I have literally physically taken their access to me, so they can do anything. I'm not doing anything that gives them access to them. That's one of the things that I'm taking on this channel, because it keeps my mind distracted, and it's something really constructive. Now, game of deception. Do not accept anything they say as truth, and do not acknowledge anything the system interrogates you about as truth. Yeah, that's true. So, we're gonna finish this, and then I'm gonna tell you, because this is really important. The system will take random bits of anything it captures through your senses and fabricate stories, which they use to harass and interrogate you with no intention other than to distract and torture you into submission or to the system's influence. So I could have not worded it better. So the voices will literally grab anything that is grabbed from your senses and fabricate stories with it, such as when you're feeling sensations, it will tell you, oh, it's a shadow, it's this. When you see someone, from far away, just like this, is gonna tell you, oh, they're controlling the sensations via remote. When you feel a sensation here behind your head, it's gonna tell you, oh, that's our new machine. It's our new trick that we just developed. It will literally grab anything. If you even we have a memory of something that you vaguely remember, it's gonna take that and it's gonna create something with that. So just know that when you are in such a sensitive state where you are hearing V2K, that's one of the voices. The only context that it has is what's in your head, and it's what's coming out from your senses. So this is the best way to tell you, to explain this to you, is that the voices that you hear will literally be bits, random bits of anything that your senses capture. And it will fabricate stories, And if you're constantly thinking about gang stalking, it will contextualize everything that you see with gang stalking. It's kind of it's like the next level of when I saw a trash can and my first thought was like effing your trash, or when I saw someone spitting on you, was spitting on the floor, I thought immediately, oh, she's spitting because she's a gang stalker and she's telling me that she spits on me, that I'm nothing, that I'm trash. Like that's literally what gang stalking does to you. But again, that's the effect that gang stalking does. You have to get rid of this by immediately saying, oh well, that's just the trash truck picking up trash. It means nothing. Now we're going, so I don't understand. Well, never mind. So then this person says, decoding electromagnetic emissions of the brain into actual thought pattern. The brain doesn't have emissions. What the fuck are electromagnetic emissions? Let's look it up. Let's see. Electromagnetic emissions. Electromagnetic emissions. It is something. Whatever it is. In physics, electromagnetic radiation. We're talking about. I mean, I'm assuming it would be the same thing. Let's put it under in quotes. It says that it's electromagnetic radiation. Well, I guess electromagnetic radiation. Decoding electromagnetic emissions or radiation of the brain into actual thought patterns. Once those patterns are identified, they are used in varied and repeated harassment and torture of the targeted individual. So it's saying, we are magnetic creatures or something like that. And sorry if I sound ignorant. So now let's see. Once those patterns are identified, they are used and varied in the repeated harassment and torture of the targeted individual. The mental images of the brain can actually be seen and through this window into the soul. So images, sounds, and other sequences, aromas can be decoded into the human brain. So no, they can't. Sorry, maybe they can, but it's already on the news. But there is no such thing into this happening in gang stalking. This doesn't happen in gang stalking. You could believe it is true, but it's not. I believe that everyone could see what I was imagining, but they didn't. So it feels torturous when you feel that everyone knows what you're thinking, because there are things that, especially when you feel like everyone is watching, you just start like seeing things, things that are not cool and things that make people upset. And when one time I was so mad that I thought everyone could see, so I imagined like everyone dying and like having horrible deaths. It was just such a bad morning. I was so mad. And then I got to the gym and everyone at the gym and the person that and everyone literally began having looking like mad at me and like sad. It was like, what the fuck, they were like reacting to what I was imagining. But that I still tie that into just me. They somehow knew, or maybe had an idea, and they just acted. Only one girl acted mad, but I think that was just I just caught on her sad expression because she was the only one that actually caught on to that. So there are when you're imagining things, and then you are and you have that bias, like you are sure they're seeing things, that they're seeing what you're imagining, you are going to have mirages of people reacting to your to the negative images that you're feeling, like appropriately. And you're gonna feel that they know, because there are gonna be things that happen that you imagine, and they're gonna react to it. But the truth of the matter is that if they're actually having if you're seeing reactions in people, just know that it is not that they are reacting to it. It's that there is a your confirmation bias is gonna kick in really hard, and you're gonna be looking for things in person's micro expressions, and you're gonna be looking for the micro expressions that fit your narrative. It is not because they know what you're imagining, it is because you found something. So you found a single micro expression on someone that actually fits the narrative that you're believing, and that is why it's so effective. It's because your confirmation bias really kicks in, like hard. There was a time where like I believed that I could move things with my mind or something, or affect the things that people saw. So like remember when I was imagining that people could see what I was imagining. I imagined like the road. I imagined the road going crazy, and I imagined a lot of traffic to fuck with them. So that they would have a car accident because I was so mad. That's how I was testing if it was true or not. And I swear to God, like when I practice, envisioning when I was driving, when I was on the freeway and there was a car in front of me, then I like imagine like a bunch of cars going in the opposite direction, and I swear to God I saw the car like swerving a little bit. But then I was like, there's no way. So then I looked for the cars swerving, just look for it to see if I was a confirmation bias. And yeah, it was literally just looking for cars to swerve a little, and then because I had a narrative in my mind, every type of little swerving, when I was imagining that, I took it as confirmation of being true, of that they could see what I was imagining. And when you have this narrative, and when your mind is kind of caught on to finding confirmations on everything that you do, you are going to find them. It's just like how you are. It's exactly like how you look for confirmation of anything that you believe online. You are going to find it. Just so it's. But the truth is that it is your confirmation bias kicking in. I imagine like giant dildos coming out of the floor. I imagine everyone with like clown wigs. I imagine everyone as trannies. I was having such a blast with like imagination when all of that was happening. Like I imagined like the toughest guy at the gym twerking, and I was just like laughing like an idiot. And yeah, like it was that in the moment that I was living that was real. It was super super real. And the thing is that then I imagine like at work there's like a guy that his eyes shake, so he needs to wear glasses. So I was just like I was so mad at him for participating in it, that I just imagine his like eyes shaking like a lot, like mocking. But he didn't know, and he never reacted funny, so he would be offended, so he wasn't. So in conclusion, I tested this. I did a lot of tests about why they could see everything that I was imagining, and they weren't. So another experience that I had about this was when I felt that everyone could see what I was imagining. I like Drawn Together. I like South Park. I like watching things that are highly inappropriate, because that is my type of humor. So whenever I would watch something like that, the voices would tell me, don't watch that. Everyone can see what you're seeing, so don't watch that. And then I would see like a person carrying their children, and it would say, children can't see what you're imagining. Don't watch that. That's highly inappropriate. And so like I couldn't even like masturbate to porn comfortably because like I would be like, oh my god, the children. And I believed it, and I tried so hard not to, but I just couldn't. And then at the end of this self setup, so the setup, the voices imposed it on me. It was a self setup. It was all me. The gang stalkers had no idea that I was going through this. They just saw me trying to control what I was imagining, but they didn't know what was going in my head. So, and every time I would like put like on freaking drawn together, I would just, it's something in me would be like, don't watch this, and I would feel so uncomfortable. And like I would put on my iPad, I would put something and I would put it on the side or on my dashboard, and I was driving, and then I would see the red lights, and then the red lights to me meant stop. So I was like, the gang stalkers want me to stop, and then I saw them. I would see the brake lights, and they're all red, and I would feel that they were telling me indirectly, stop doing this. So then this happened at the end of work, and I was just like, no, I needed my freedom back. So I began watching Dawn Together, and then the voices were like, don't watch that, think about the children. So then I was at the drive-thru at Jack in the Box, and then I was just feeling like I was almost feeling a nervous breakdown because I didn't care for everyone. It was I felt like it was a selfish movement, a selfish decision. So I kept watching on together, and I was just like, it's my freedom. There's no way this is real. And then when I kept watching it, the car in front of me opened the door, and I was like, there's no way, she's trying to scare me. But the woman got out, and she just picked up something from the floor, and then she like got back into her car. And after that, I realized it's not true. It was a self-imposed illusion. But yeah, I believe that it was true for like weeks. It was insane. I did all kinds of crazy things where I was driving, and then I imagined like a bunch of like traffic going this way and this way. I imagined like all around, like my head was turning around. It was insane what I was doing. It was dangerous, actually. It was really dangerous. And because I wasn't focused on driving, I was focusing on everyone else and what everyone else was seeing. And that was probably the most dangerous thing that had happened to me when I was getting gang stalked, is the belief that everyone could see what I was imagining, and me being upset at that. So in conclusion, just please don't believe that everyone can see what you're imagining, because it's not true. And the voices can tell you that it's real. You could see illusions that's true. But whatever it is that you do, just know that gang stalking is the only time where you cannot trust your own senses. You cannot even trust what you literally see with your eyes. Okay? Thank you so much for watching. Bye.